I do not like being surrounded by false creatures posing as the real McCoy.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're looking at celebs who left the jungle before being voted out by the public.
Some people need breaking in gently. Do you know what I mean?
Number 10, Natalie Appleton.
I was up on a high wire.
Yeah.
Like 200 feet in the air.
Oh my God.
With a heavy trolley that was doing this.
Were you actually on a wire?
Yeah.
There's usually one celeb that the public latches onto and wants to see do trials over and over again. And in the fourth series of I'm a Celebrity, that burden fell to Natalie Appleton of All Saints fame. She was voted continuously to do the trials, frustrating her fellow celebs to no end.
And the thing is, I could have got 10, but the second row of stars I couldn't reach, they're too high for me. And if I'd have gone on my toes, I'd have fallen off the wire.
After breaking down in tears following another arduous day, despite Ant and Dec begging the public not to vote for her again, Appleton quit. The public hated her for her non-stop complaining, but we wouldn't be surprised if she felt the same way after all this.
Deep breath on your own.
It's because panting so much made me go really lightheaded.
Still, at least she quit with some dignity instead of pretending to faint on live TV like Gillian McKeith did. Number 9, Daniela Westbrook. EastEnders star Daniela Westbrook was on the show the year before Appleton, but also quit, albeit for different reasons.
After dinner, Daniela goes to the Bush Telegraph for a heart-to-heart.
Like many parents on the show, Westbrook desperately missed her children while she was down under, and ultimately couldn't cope with the separation. This was 2003, and her daughter Jodie was only 2 at the time, so you can't blame her for finding it difficult.
It's the first thing I've done, the first time I've been away from my family. Ever. First time I've ever been away from Kevin. Since we got married.
Except of course you can, because even after she quit, she still ended up getting voted off anyway because it was so last minute. Somehow, we doubt that the public voted that way because they were sympathetic, and more because watching someone cry about their children wasn't entertaining enough for ITV's biggest reality show.
I missed my kids. And I miss Kevin. And I miss chocolate.
Number 8, John Lydon. Former Sex Pistols and Public Image Limited frontman John Lydon also quit I'm a Celebrity in the 2004 series, which saw a relatively high number of famous dropouts.
This time yesterday you were still in camp.
Yeah.
By choice, but then you left.
Yeah.
Are you happier 24 hours on than you were this time yesterday?
He lasted for 11 days and made it through numerous eliminations, but couldn't handle another 5 days in the jungle. Maybe he didn't think he stood a chance against the series' eventual winner, Kerry Katona. That's what some people believe, that he couldn't hack it when his popularity took a turn.
But you knew about the eviction part of the show when you joined the show? Yeah, I did beforehand, and I knew I'd do something to stop that. All right, I came here for the nature of this place.
But he said that he didn't want to win and wanted to get kicked off because winning would be awful for him. Would he have won? Well, we'll never find out.
So you never intended to steer the full course then? No. Well, I might have, but I didn't like it. I felt really sad about these people getting thrown out.
Number 7, Jack Maynard.
You are what's known as a vlogger. Yeah. I don't know what vlogger stands for, and that's why I'm going to want to ask you.
Video blogger.
He's one of the few who didn't actually quit I'm a Celeb or withdraw for medical reasons, but as one of the most infamous jungle exits, he's still going on our list.
It's difficult with social media because once it's out there, it's out there.
Jack Maynard, a YouTuber best known for being the less famous brother of Conor Maynard, who's also not that famous, left the jungle in order to defend himself.
I've gained a fairly good following, a fairly loyal following.
Would that be in the thousands?
In like the...
Millions?
Would it?
He's got millions of followers.
That was what he said, at least. The official line from ITV was that he'd been removed. This all came down to a series of offensive tweets he'd posted years ago that had been dug up by people who apparently had nothing better to do. And considering those people were working for The Sun, that's probably true. He withdrew and apologised.
Yeah, I knew I'd definitely done some really stupid things in the past on social media.
Number 6, George Hamilton.
Well, I thought, why don't you leave while you're on a high here? Why don't you leave when
You don't have to go down into the mud.
While the most notorious exit from I'm a Celebrity Series 9 is one we haven't gotten to yet, American actor George Hamilton also left when jungle life got too much for him. Specifically, he thought he was too old to be in the competition. At the time, he was 70 and struggled not only to potentially do trials, but also to participate with chores in the camp.
We always took care of the weakest person, which happened to be me. Nurse, please, I don't know how to handle this.
Nobody else in the camp held this against him, and he spoke extensively about how much he enjoyed his experience, but he still ended up leaving. Like John Lydon, he was also nearly 5 days away from the ending, but he felt like he was making life harder for the others.
As much as I'd like to win, because I'm competitive, I didn't want to see any of them lose. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna step back. Sometimes by losing, you win.
Number 5, Spencer Matthews.
We were all so disappointed when you went because you looked like you were going to be such a terrific contestant. You know, the early trials you did, you were so
I thought
cool.
you'd win it when you came in.
Oh, thank you. Well, there was no one more disappointed than me.
Star of Made in Chelsea, Spencer Matthews was booted out of the camp after producers found out that he'd been taking anabolic steroids during his time as a contestant. As he later explained on Loose Women, while anabolic steroids are legal for personal use in the UK, that's not true in Australia.
I don't quite understand why you were made to leave. It's something to do with steroids, but steroids, as I understand it, are not illegal in this country.
So he was breaking the law down under and ended up on a plane back to Blighty. He said that he shouldn't have taken them, and that it was all because he wanted to bulk up for a boxing match, owning up to what he'd done. He ended up escaping the scrutiny of the tabloids by running off to Africa for a few months.
Being a non-athlete, I thought that, taking recreational steroids, especially as they were, quite readily available.
And why were you taking them?
Vanity, I suppose.
Number 4, Nigel Havers.
Let's have a little look at this, taste of this. Can I have a little taste? Oh, you can't eat that.
Corrie's Nigel Havers drew the line at getting an electric shock after already proving unpopular in the camp. Days before the first elimination, and Havers withdrew because he didn't want to get zapped for potentially losing the kangaroo court challenge.
But that's sour. The M-Pit is getting on my nerves, actually. Because I don't know, he just never stops talking bollocks, basically.
He does have a point, since in many I'm a Celeb trials, the punishment for losing is going hungry, rather than having additional pain inflicted on top of the humiliation. And the show also doesn't make a habit of needlessly subjecting the contestants to painful things, because it is cruel. It's one of the few times somebody's quit mid-trial, though.
God's sake, come on, you drive me mad, but you'll drive me bonkers. Just calm down. You're meant to be a grown-up man, for God's sake.
Number 3, Lady Colin Campbell.
Lady C! Lady C! Shut up! You shut up!
I will talk if I
No,
won't.
be quiet. You are a rude, horrible woman at the moment, and you've got a very, very nasty energy about you.
In 2015, we got a contestant like no other in the form of Lady C. She was bizarre and belligerent, arguing with everybody about everything that annoyed her, and being an awful presence in the camp. Despite this, the public loved the rowing and wanted to keep her in, and she potentially could have won the series if only she hadn't stormed out.
Oh, you are an idiot. Yet again, another motor-mouth piece of crap.
She claimed that it was all on medical grounds, and that was the line ITV took at the time, but later came out to accuse fellow campmates Tony Hadley and Duncan Bannatyne of bullying her and convincing her to leave.
Those two old, egotistical men, why can't they give the young people a chance?
Number 2, Katie Price.
Now, you knew that your partner Alex was flying out today, and we've all seen the stories in the papers. So can you understand why people might think you'd planned this in advance?
Another classic 2009 moment, Katie Price spectacularly left after also being subjected to relentless trials by the British public. Supposedly, her second run on the show was about trying to move on from Peter Andre, whom she'd famously met back in her first series. But it ended even more bizarrely, with Price's partner at the time, Alex Reid, flying into Australia to propose to her.
That's another thing. I've done a lot of reflecting. I think it's best that I'm on my own. I just don't want to be in a relationship.
Some theorised that this was why she'd left, but then she announced during her live exit interview that her relationship with Reid was over and that she was going to be dumping him. They did get back together for a while, but being dumped on TV has to be brutal.
I hope we can remain friends as of
I came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no more.
So you and Alex are split now?
I'm not with him, no.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 1. Gemma Collins.
This is right for me.
Yeah.
And I have to go with that.
ITV wanted entertainment when they persuaded the GC to enter the jungle, and that was what they got for all of 3 days.
No, can you stop a minute? I'm being serious. Stop. I need to get out, honestly.
You need to get out?
Yeah, I'm going to be sick.
After refusing to do the helicopter ride into the jungle at the beginning, life in the semi-wilderness got too much for Collins, and she announced that she was quitting when the 14th series had barely gotten started.
I'm very sorry if I've let anyone down or if I've caused any ag, but I have to look after number 1. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
However, she later revealed that this all happened because she'd been violently mugged the day before leaving to go to Australia and was still in a state of shock. With that in mind, it made sense why she was so upset while she was there.
No amount of money would keep me here.
Let us know if you think any of these celebs should give the jungle another go.